My computer is just like screwing me and does not want me to actually record this video because I want to go home and make the decision whether I'm actually staying in this apartment and bringing my dogs home or staying there to ride out the snowstorm. I prefer to stay here because there's nothing to do at my parents' house. So this is the third take I'm doing this for Voyager's re-review. And 2 of them are because my computer just said, no, you're not actually recording this. So Voyager, my first video involving him had some things that are just like straight up wrong. You really cannot compare Voyager to Dantes. They are, well, they might be extra class. They are both extra class. Dantes is just like made for farming. Voyager is not. He is made for looping. He refunds mostly from his face cards, not necessarily just like straight up hitting overkill quickly, because as you can see here, his base attack is very, very low for a 5-star. It's not the lowest, but he's like over 1,000 south of the average. You need to level him to level 100 to get significantly less below that, but still below average. His HP is definitely meant to compensate, and hey, look, 17,000 if you get him to level 100. That's good HP. That is fairly tanky. Star weight and star gen are at Foreigner numbers. Foreigners are the 3rd highest star gen of all servants versus assassins, then is pretenders, finally foreigners. I love quick foreigners. I love them because they function the best. They have better star gen than normal knight classes. Besides assassins, they usually have fairly good crit potential to make up for the fact that they're mostly hitting type neutral. MP charge is probably, if it's not his base attack, it's his MP charge that are the biggest pain point for Voyager. His kit is actually good. It's just his base stats actually do hold him back, which usually isn't the case. Most of the case for some of these servants, their base stats are ridiculously good, like Jacques, and then their kit is like has problems with it. Not the case with Voyager, especially not after the buff. Hit count is average across the board. Literally 3 is what most would consider average hit count. And his MP charge is there to compensate for like you probably hitting crits on all of these at any time. So that is why this is low, and unfortunately his MP refund suffers because of it. 5 hit good. First skill, 50% battery, debuff immune for 3 turns, no times. It is flat out 3 turns. Like Da Vinci, drops 10 stars. What happened here? Oh, please don't crash. Why is everything going wrong with this review? What did I do? All right, yeah, so while this is loading, I guess I just have to play this. I think this is fine for him. It is great that he has a 50% battery. That does put him above quick loopers. It makes it easier for him to start from 0 with a black rail. It's not necessarily the most damage, but that's only that's with 3 Scotties. I would bring it up, but yeah. Okay, this is literally the first time this actually happened in a review, but I'm gonna have to keep playing it because I don't want to record this for a 4th time. All right, yeah, so the 10 stars and the debuff immunity. This is why I say he's more of a looper, because he is meant to get most of his refund from his face cards, not from just the MP. The 10 stars let him crit on it, and he does have a star weight skill to make it so to try guarantee he's getting crits on hopefully a quicker arts card. If it's not one of those, he still should get a fairly good amount of refund from his face card. Second skill, again, this is more challenging boss fight, challenge quest, challenging fights. Full turn of evasion, quick performance, 20% for himself, and then debuffs one of the enemies with 20% quick res down. This does not help. This part does not really help in farming, except for the first wave, because you are not waiting until wave 3 to pop this. You need this for the refund badly. If you are waiting till wave 3 to pop this skill, Voyager, you're probably going a lot of extra steps to get Voyager to loop. You're probably using plug suit with like Nero Bride, which, I mean, Nero Bride helps his damage and actually doubles down on his niche, because Nero Bride gives Sky Attribute damage mod as well, I believe. So like he just does more damage in his own niche, along with other buffs he didn't have. But this just helps you clear the first wave and hopefully hit the 50% that you need so your extra batteries can be saved. But you'd ideally you would want to pop this wave 3 for the most damage, but you just can't. Not unless your refund is that much better. So you're trading another Scotty or Oberon for Nero Bride to help loop. Not necessarily a bad thing, but just know your damage is affected by it. Third skill is what was buffed. Star weight 600%. Not party. Whoever you target with the star weight, they also get 30% quick. You're mostly popping this on Voyager, so he has a 50% not battery. I mean, he does have that, but 50% card buff for 3 turns, which there are not many servants that actually do have that. Usually they have like 50% or not 50% MP gain. That's crazy. That's Dantes and Gil. But most of the time servants they'll have like 50% attack, like some way to make it, or like 50% MP, like the equivalent of like 50% like a mana burst of like attack and like MP damage mixed together. He straight up can give himself 50% card buff, just like what Scotty gives, along with party-wide crit damage and crit attack chance resistance. Whenever you have this and you get attacked and then you see miss, that means you are probably going to get critted. You can think this skill for why your servant is still alive, but don't unlock Berserker Append, because that's not going to help them. They're still going to die, even if they're not getting critted. Existence outside the domain means Van Gogh compatible, because for Van Gogh, it is not just foreigners. You need to have this passive to get the benefit from Van Gogh. You have to. That's why Kukulkan does not work with Van Gogh. She does not have existence outside the domain. Independent navigation, 8% crit damage, 8% arts, buff removal resistance. It's nice to have this. It's probably not going to come into play all the time, but you could say the same thing for magic resist. You still get debuffed a lot, but when it doesn't happen, you're happy for it. So if his buffs would be yeeted by, say, Amakusa, who is the main summon unit for Slapstick, you get to keep your buffs and then do a lot of damage next turn. We will come back to appends in a little bit. They depend on who your support is. MP 5-hit quick AoE, power mod against Sky Attribute, like I said, charges the entire party by 20%, just like Da Vinci. And if you are a living human, you get an extra 10% on top of that. Living humans are the demi servants or pseudo servants. Sorry. So Mash, Reigns, and Waver are probably the main use cases for this specific MP passive. They will get the most benefit out of this because you want to be spamming their MP as much as possible, especially hers, but his is just as good for stalling. His overcharge is base 20% MP damage. That is a good number to start with. Like 10 is just like not enough for a lot of servants. It's not going to see the most benefit, but like 20 is where you start seeing like noticeable damage buffs or noticeable changes to damage. And if you're using a black rail, that's 100% MP damage up. If you bring in Oberon, that's another 30% MP damage. And then you double that so that Voyager with Oberon gets 260% MP damage for his like MP. This sheet does not show that damage because most people are not. If you're quick focus, the reason you want another Scotty and not say like Nero Bride or Oberon is for refund purposes. Quick servants have notoriously bad refunds. If you bring Nero Bride to like make his loops consistent, his damage might not go up the most, but it will still go up. You like Nero Bride's 30% battery will get him to MP with just his stuff alone, and you're just saving the Scotties. If you use Nero Bride with Voyager, it literally fixes all of his looping problems. He will, that 40% or whatever attack buff Nero gives, I think it is 40. That helps his damage. That helps him get overkill. That 45% MP gain, that will help him actually hit above 50. Might go into 60 or 70. And it's Sky attribute, you're doubling down on what he's already gonna do more damage on. He's just gonna do more damage. Bond CE damage mod against Sky enemies as well. It is more to the damage mod. I have bias towards Voyager, but I will be real. If you have MP1 Voyager, he is extremely disappointing. He will not kill a lot of things. You are going to have to face cards kill stuff. You have to. He's just not going to kill. Let's see. Foreigner. And remember, this is when what you're fighting has the quick res down. This is one enemy, not the entire wave. So imagine, before he got his quick puff, he was lower than Jacques. And this is Jacques without her having her niche. Voyager is not like, don't get me wrong, he is a good servant. If you need someone to farm XP and you have like a Scotty, he will farm your XP fine. With his buff on JP, he will hit the 50% threshold easily. You shouldn't be worried. And then he could just crit down the boss in the third wave. But right now, this year, I think Jacques is way a way stronger servant than Voyager. Just me personally. I have a lot of experience using Jacques de Melee. I have an MP3 Voyager. I would still probably prefer Jacques in harder content than Voyager. But Voyager definitely can do the looping easier. If you have Dantes, you don't need Voyager if you just want a farmer. You just don't. Dantes right now on JP is a monster. And remember, they are both type neutral. They have Black Rail. The Dantes I'm going to bring up has Black Rail, 2 Scotties. He beats Voyager on both waves. Like they're closely compared. And then blows him out the water. I believe this Voyager is also using I think the way I'm not entirely. I'm not gonna make assumptions on how Jord did this. Yeah, especially because this one is hitting harder, so he is popping skill 2 wave 1. Yeah. So a little rambly, but I wanted to get this video out before the snowstorm that's gonna hit me. I don't want to go 2 days without an upload. I like Voyager, but you have to acknowledge his faults. Now is not the time to be going for like MP2 or higher Voyager unless you already have him. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like or a sub, and if you're feeling really generous, give me some feedback on the video in the comment section. I am very much looking to improve in the coming months as the channel continues to grow. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.